Kevin, and together with my study partners, James and Maddelyn, we'll be talking about FOXTEL, as they've had recent decline in sales over the last 2-3 years. We chose this because FOXTEL was on the maturity, possibly even on the decline in the product life cycle, but we'll discuss that further in the report. In the background of FOXTEL, as well as the 7 Ps. FOXTEL is a joint venture between News Corp, specifically 20th Century Fox, and Telstra. FOXTEL was an amalgamation of the 2 words, Fox and Tel in Telstra. On the 23rd of October 1995, FOXTEL was launched. It was a 20-channel subscription service, and the customers got it through direct Telstra Hybrid Fibre Coaxial Network, or HFC. In June 1998, FOXTEL expanded the customer base by acquiring the satellite television service of Galaxy, and again from the 11th of July 2011, Austar announced it would be absorbed by FOXTEL over the following 12 months. FOXTEL started in metropolitan cities such as Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, but since the availability of satellites, they've been able to transmit into regional areas of Australia. Due to the conception of Netflix, Stan and other streaming services, the cost of FOXTEL has hit the sales and services. FOXTEL's brand has been aggressive, arrogant, and a major rebrand was said to be underway. Initially starting with 20 channels, but they have since grown to over 200, including dedicated sports channels, movie channels, and during the Olympics 2012 in London, they saw an average of almost 1 million viewers during the opening weekend. The 7 Ps of FOXTEL with their product is premium set-top boxes. They're also an internet service provider made a lot easier by being a partner with Telstra, and they also have streaming apps so the customers can stream their content. Their placement can be found anywhere, connected through either a satellite dish or over the internet if available. Gift cards can also be purchased from supermarkets and convenience stores as to pay for the subscription. With pricing, through the set-top box, you pay a premium price. You purchase a package, you can add to packages, and this price stipulates the package. But with the streaming of video on demand services, their price is very comparable to Netflix and Stan, with not much difference. Promotion is saturated of the market through advertising on the internet, like Instagram, Facebook ads, YouTube, free-to-air television using 30-second ads, 15-second cinema commercials, and outdoor media is one of the main points in Australian cities. The people in FOXTEL, they have a large range of positions including sales, customer service, and content creation and production. Sales can be face-to-face, often in a shopping centre or at a FOXTEL kiosk, through the internet or over the phone using the customer service people. Customer service people are also there to help existing customers make payments and help with any technical issues that their customers might have. The process includes sales all the way through to content production. FOXTEL productions include dramas like Wentworth, lifestyle programs like Grand Designs Australia, Selling Houses Australia, as well as sport like the NRL, AFL, motorsport, and they also stream English Premier League as part of their content. The physical evidence is that it's an all-in-one FOXTEL entertainment service, and the customers get to pick the package that is of interest to them.
Hi, my name is James, and I will be speaking about the FOXTEL analysis, product lifecycle, and current SWOT analysis for FOXTEL, beginning with the FOXTEL analysis, which is a 6-factor framework which influences organizations from the outside. These factors consist of political, economic, social, cultural, technological, legal, and environmental. Beginning with political, we've got the formation of agencies such as the ACMA, the Australian Communications and Media Authority, to watch media content and ownership. We've also got the ACCC, which is the Australian Competition Consumer Commission, and they're there as a third party to defend consumer rights, business rights and obligations, and implement industry regulation and price monitoring, and prevent any illegal anti-competitive behaviour. Economic. Household wealth is falling, cost of living is rising, but not the cost of wages, so cuts need to be made just to make ends meet. And then you've also got the introduction of subscription video on demand, which is like Stan, Netflix, Hayu, Amazon Prime. Social, cultural, generational differences. The younger generation prefer to use mobile devices and digital technology, whereas the older generation prefers to use, or more likely to stick with what they know, their DVDs, movies, videos. Back in 2014, it was predicted that by 2020 there would be 5 billion internet users, with over 50% of them being used on handheld tablet devices, and approximately 80 billion connected devices worldwide. Technology, with FOXTEL's partnership to Telstra and the release of the NBN network and 5G network, bundling offers are now enabled, giving and I will be speaking about the FOXTEL analysis, product lifecycle, and current SWOT analysis for FOXTEL, beginning with the FOXTEL analysis, which is a 6-factor framework which influences organizations from the outside. These factors consist of political, economic, social, cultural, technological, legal, and environmental. Beginning with political, we've got the formation of agencies such as the ACMA, the Australian Communications and Media Authority, to watch media content and ownership. We've also got the ACCC, which is the Australian Competition Consumer Commission, and they're there as a third party to defend consumer rights, business rights and obligations, and implement industry regulation and price monitoring, and prevent any illegal anti-competitive behaviour. Economic. Household wealth is falling, cost of living is rising, but not the cost of wages, so cuts need to be made just to make ends meet. And then you've also got the introduction of subscription video on demand, which is like Stan, Netflix, Hayu, Amazon Prime. Social, cultural, generational differences. The younger generation prefer to use mobile devices and digital technology, whereas the older generation prefers to use, or more likely to stick with what they know, their DVDs, movies, videos. Back in 2014, it was predicted that by 2020 there would be 5 billion internet users, with over 50% of them being used on handheld tablet devices, and approximately 80 billion connected devices worldwide. Technology with Foxtel's partnership to Telstra and the release of the NBN network and 5G network, bundling offers are now enabled, giving more customers access to it. Foxtel is constantly updating their set-top boxes, and with the introduction of their app FOXTEL Now are offering app-only subscriptions. Legal. Up until the early 1990s, pay TV in Australia was actually banned. And then in 1992, we have the Broadcasting Services Act, which largely involves problems relating to content regulation and media ownership in Australia. The law regulates what is considered political advertising and the distinct requirements which must be met before they're authorised for publication, as well as media ownership regulations, which means a person cannot control more than 2 of the regulated media platforms: commercial television, commercial radio, and associated newspapers in any commercial radio licence area. And then we have environmental, which consists of the energy rising costs and the sustainability of the materials that are used to make the set-top boxes, the satellites, and any repairs that need to be. After slipping into the decline, Foxtel has clawed its way back into the growth stage of their life cycle by partnering with a big name like Netflix. And this has made it more enticing for the younger generation to be able to connect the two together and use one media output such as their set-top boxes to have all the enjoyment. The set-top boxes to have all the enjoyment. The current SWOT analysis. As a strength, Foxtel has a vast range of television shows and channels. They're also able to offer their services outside of the traditional television top boxes through mobile phones now and iPads. And they're also sponsoring of the Children Research Institute. At time of publication of this presentation, it was also unknown that Game of Thrones would have a prequel that will be released soon enough. So that is also a strength for Foxtel now. Opportunities. So merging with SVODs is an opportunity for Foxtel to grow out further and expand their horizons. And they're also still Australia's only paid TV service. Weaknesses. Well, there was the end of Game of Thrones, which a lot of people had subscribed purely just to watch Game of Thrones. There's still a high cost in comparison to other SVODs, such as Stan and other streaming services, and they're also quite threatened by other streaming services, Stan and Amazon Prime, because of their low cost. As well as free-to-air television is still a major threat, and other multimedia services such as DVDs, CDs, hard disks as well. Thank you.
To Michael Porter's competitive strategy choice. So what is it? Porter suggests strategies that companies should use to position themselves against the pressure of main competitive influences and to reach a greater profitability. These strategies are shown in the model of generic competitive strategies and are cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. Foxtel swapped from using cost leadership strategy and moved on to the differentiation strategy. Differentiation is one of Porter's strategies, which is where the company plans to develop and market unique products for various customer segments. Companies can differentiate their products by raising their technological superiority, growing their advanced features, presenting high quality standards, refining their image, or even attaining superior customer service. So who else uses it? The idea of differentiation strategy is to create a product that the customer values greatly in order to create trust and brand loyalty. Netflix and Stan are but two examples of these companies have started with their online services. Initially, they started with low-cost subscription for what seemed to be an endless supply of TV shows and movies, after which they started to expand their database and create user-friendly options that allow for the system to make recommendations based on previous movie views. Media streaming companies such as FOXTEL, Netflix and Stan, as examples tend to follow a differentiation strategy by offering greater goods and services in order to achieve maximum effectiveness and customer loyalty, either low cost and great ranges or higher cost for more quality entertainment. This is accomplished by focusing on the 5 major dimensions of differentiation, which consist of product features, marketing channels, service and support, brand or image, and price. And the success has been found by implementing at least 2 of these dimensions. FOXTEL in this report is being compared heavily to Netflix and Stan, basically just Netflix, as they have a successful media model that has seen them become the leader of the SVOD community, which is subscription on demand, in many countries around the world. Netflix temporarily overtook Disney in 2017 as the world's most valued entertainment company. Netflix recently became a partner of FOXTEL. Netflix in the beginning was happily given contact by other network moguls as a source of raising extra revenue. These networks are now playing catch up to compete with Netflix. So our new marketing recommendations and changes to the 7 Ps. So for our promotion, we're suggesting a loyalty program where existing customers are tiered into different levels, for example, gold, silver and bronze, depending on how much time the customer has been with FOXTEL, where gold members will receive the most incentives, for example, 3 months of KO for free, so the customer can get a sample of KO, and this will assist in customer retention. Price. So we're suggesting a different price structure depending on if the customer values advertisement during the content. This can either be dearer from the norm if the customer wants ad-free content, or cheaper from the norm if the customer is happy to have advertisement during the content. Okay, so with the product, we're suggesting a focus on streaming apps like FOXTEL Now and KO instead of FOXTEL through a set-top box. This is to focus on sustainability, as when the set-top box and satellite dish come to an end of its life, the plastics and electronics go to landfill, they are not recycled. This is a balance between efficiency and effectiveness, and this can also market FOXTEL as environmentally friendly. Okay, so with the people, we're suggesting more of a focus on the customers and make them front and center. So FOXTEL just needs to focus on customer service, and if the company needs to move